Okay, Shalom, giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakar Kodash. I want to give double honors to the eldest apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom, to we reference to as the hopeful elect. Once again, my name is Lamadia, and the central premise of this video, we're going to talk about self-talk and assessment. Now, self-talk, pretty much what it is the thoughts you receive in your mind that oppose the scriptures. And it's usually associated with pride, ego, and you find yourself in circumstances that you don't want to be in. And a lot of time what we see is a person acting off an impulse, which is emotion, or feeding the flesh. But scripture speaks about, a carnal mind is enmity with the Lord, meaning the carnal mind, carnal means flesh, is in opposition to the righteousness of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. That's why it's essential to stay in the scriptures, read the scriptures, watch videos, because the more you stay away, what begins to happen is your spirit starts to starve, and you begin to produce less spiritual activities. So it's essential to constantly feed the spirit through the word. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at the meaning for self-talk. So self-talk in psychology is the internal, excuse me, is the internal or external dialogue, meaning it's the thoughts you have in your mind. Case in point, you might be somewhere out and about, and somebody might lock eyes with you, and you thinking like, why this person grilling me? This person must think I'm soft. So now you get all excited, but come to find out that person is not looking at you for contention. That person may be looking at you because you might be familiar. Maybe they seen you on a video. Maybe they knew you from years ago. Maybe they did a job with you. But through self-talk, you start telling yourself it's something else. And you start to begin to overread into that situation. Now Satan got you by the grips, got you by the shoulder, and now he's controlling you and putting these thoughts in your mind that lead you to make impulsive decisions. So I'm gonna read it again. Now it says, self-talk in psychology is the internal or external dialogue or inner voice that combines conscious thoughts with unconscious beliefs, shaping emotions, performance. Performance is results. That's a lot of niggas is in jail, serving heavy time because of self-talk. They put themselves in situations that they could have just walked away from. So it says shaping emotions, performance, and mental health. It acts as cognitive tool for reasoning, motivation, and emotional regulation. It can be categorized as positive or negative, significantly influencing self-confidence and behavioral outcomes. So you do have something too is positive self-talk. Now, positive self-talk is when on a person is more optimistic. Case in point, here being in Babylon, you do get tired of a lot of the shit that goes on. But an optimistic view towards it or perspective is that each day that goes by, we're closer to the kingdom. Another optimistic perspective is when you look at current events, you say, whoa, it's almost over. And understanding, well, Yahweh Shah suffered, so we also have to suffer. And that is positive self-talk, being in the spirit, whereas negative self-talk is being in the flesh. So let's go to Romans 7. The whole chapter is good, but we're going to begin at verse 19. Now it reads, for the good that I would, I do not. And the word good translate to God. So if you're saying a person is good, what you're saying that person is godly. When you say goodbye to someone, what you're saying is God be with ye, for short, goodbye. So good means godly. So it says, for the good that I would do, so like it, for the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. And Apostle Gabal, the elder Apostle Gabal, say all the time that the biggest enemies in this ministry is ourselves. That's why you have to check yourself a lot of the time. You have to examine yourself. We're going to get that too. You have to evaluate your actions. Is the things you're doing is scriptural? Are you doing the right thing? And it's a constant thing. It's a constant war against the spirit and the flesh. So it says, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that, I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwell in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of the Most High after the inward man. But I see another law in my members. Because what is a law? A law is something that's given that governs conduct. Like the Most High gave us the law through Moses, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, meaning murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, honor your father and your mother, thou shalt serve no God before the Most High. These laws was all set in place to govern our conduct. Now, the Apostle Paul is saying this, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. Now, you have the flesh that's telling you to do something and to produce a conduct that is in opposition to the laws of the Most High. You might be talking to a woman, your chemistry might match, everything is going well, and then you may ask her like, "Oh, you single, right?" She might say something like, "Nah, it's complicated." Like, complicated? Let me tell you something. Complicated simply just mean they not on good terms, or right now they're not on speaking terms, but they still together. So my advice to you is cut her off. Don't even try to deal with her. Let it go. But what happened is that thought may enter your mind like, well, technically, the technical demon. then you find yourself in sin. Technically, we under grace. Technically, man, look, man, don't even test that theory. Just leave it alone. So I'll read again. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who should deliver me from the body of this death? So the Apostle Paul referenced this body as death and being delivered from it, because these flesh is corruptible and is subject unto sin. That's why when Yahweh shall return, we're gonna be we're gonna transition from these bodies into a new body, perfected body, uncorruptible bodies. Whereas right now, what we have is corruptible body. Verse 25. I thank the Most High I thank Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of the Most High, but with the flesh, the law of sin. Because we under grace right now. And just because we under grace, that don't mean you just go about and just do what you know want to do. And that's what I mean about the technical demon. Now that demon will tell you what technically we under grace. Technically, you may have ate something. Let's say, because this happened to me before. You may have bought some turkey sausage, and then this will happen after you had a few bites of it. You just look at the ingredients, find out that turkey sausage had bits of pork in it. Now, I'm gonna throw it away. Like, fuck that. I don't even want it no more. But that technical demon gonna jump in your mind and say, well, technically, you already ate a few bites out of it already. Might as well finish it. That's a demon. And you're supposed to fight that off. So we spoke about self-talk. So now we're gonna talk about assessment. So I have here making assessment meaning. So it says making assessment is the process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information to form a judgment. So you have to analyze situations that you go through. Why was you put there? Why these things is happening to you? Because there's always a lesson behind it. There's always a spiritual lesson that the Lord trying to show you. Because a lot of the times guys go through things and they wondering why me. I didn't do anything. Rather than taking the approach of why is the Lord putting these things in my life? What do I need to change? What do I need to improve in to better serve Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah? So I read it again. The process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information to form a judgment. Evaluate a situation or measure progress. It involves evaluating performance or understanding the big picture to make informed decisions or improvements. That's a key word. Improvements. So when you make an assessment or you assessing yourself, you are looking for the things within you that needs to be improved. Like when you have a factory or warehouse, everything undergoes quality control. So you have to do the same thing with yourself. Undergo quality control. Matter of fact, let's do this. Quality control. So quality control is the process a process focused operation components of quality management that involve testing, inspecting. Inspecting is the same as assessing or making an assessment, and review products to ensure they meet established standards. And there's a standard that the Lord set and specifications, reducing defects and improving customer satisfaction. So that's what we must do with ourselves, undergo quality control. And here is 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves. Examine means what? To test. Whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. So you got to you got to examine yourself. You have to make these assessments. Ask yourself, what are the things that you can better improve in? What areas in the faith you may be weak? And then you take that and you pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua to strengthen you in those areas. So examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. No, you're not your own selves. Because who knows you better than yourself? Don't wait for to the next man to come to you, tap you on the shoulder. Hey, listen, bro. I noticed such and such and whatever. Don't wait for another brother come to you and correct something that you already knew, but you're waiting for somebody to tell you you need to correct something. And you already know that is unacceptable. And another thing is you got to be spiritual, because some guys just not spiritual. Like a person in the world could tell you something, and a God may disregard it because that person is in the world, rather than analyzing it as maybe that's the spirit talking to you. Because the Lord could send you a message to a brother or a person in the world. Either way, it's still the Most High. Because if a person tell you something, even if they in the world and they correct, that's the spirit. Don't just disregard it. So I'm gonna read this again. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. No, you're not your own selves. How that Yahweh Shah is in you, except you be reprobates. A reprobate is a reject. That's a mind void of judgment. That's the guy that could be doing something, but he doesn't consider that he could be destroyed for it. Example of that is like Alizar. He was taught the scriptures. He learned under the apostles, but then these guys start doing all these different things that they know is punishable unto death, but they just don't think that judgment is gonna fall upon them. In their mind, they think they have some type of immunity on the most side. They didn't see it. That's a reprobate. You don't want to be that guy. Verse 6, but I trust that ye should not, so like it, but I trust that ye should know that we are not reprobates. And last, let's go to Philippians 2, 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only. And that's another thing, you got certain brothers, you're not listening to the spirit. That's why certain things you find yourself in circumstances you shouldn't be in, because you got brothers giving you counsel, you got elders giving you counsels, you got the leader that can't give you counsel, but you're not listening. And then you find yourself in a situation, you wonder why you in it. Because you're being stiff-necked. And you got certain guys that they only listen to the camp leaders or the elders. That's not the spirit you want to be in. Like I said before, look, you got to listen to the spirit of things. The Lord could send somebody in the world to make a statement to you and curse your ass out. And you have to be spiritual enough to see that's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh and humble down and listen to the message that the Lord is giving to you. So I'll read it again. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And that's the key thing. The key thing is working out your own salvation. Doing what you got to do so that way you can be found worthy when this place go down. But that comes with humbling, being humiliated, making a self-assessment, staying in the scriptures, praying and fasting. These are all the things that's comprised of seeking salvation. So I'm gonna end it with that. And Lord willing, this video was edifying. And again, I'm gonna say Kohalayim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Vakakodas. Until next time, Shalom. That's how it works.